matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass.
We some lions, don't let the boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a victory. Lions, don't let the boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a victory. Lions, don't let them boys get loose. It's a new day, Honolulu Blue got the boys on a crusade. Campbell throwing dukes, got golf at the Wings game. Hear his name, replay and replay and replay. Got him off the leash every Sunday. David Montgomery, Gibbs on the runway. Take a shot at Jameson and stumble out the hallway. Running in the hutch any day, that's a bad day. They don't wanna bring us up, keep us off the airways. America's team, sick of dealing with these cowboys. Keep it in your hostess, you've been cheating like an off day. We got Slim Shady, you too caught up in Beyonce. Welcome to Detroit, all that grit can go a long way. Panay drawn lines in the ground like a driveway. Trucking up L's at a porter, that's a bad name. Sinners need saints, put our faith in the mom's hands. Lions, don't let the boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a victory. Lions, don't let the boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a victory. Lions, still keep it 100. Used to be underdogs, now they all running. Now everybody that we play knows we're coming. They used to be talking, now they're saying nothing. The circle of life comes around, ain't that something? Lions, the kings of the jungle.
Wow. What a game. Let me see. Where are my guys here?
Right
Yeah,
here,
they
my
are.
man.
All right. Yeah, just like Jake Bates, man, we're going to try to keep everything inside the goalpost because what a game. Like, you know, we were talking before we got on the show. You know, as Lion fans, all we know in most of our history is losing. So it's a mentality that can escape some people, but also too, it kind of stays inside you sometimes when things get really bad, you know. And the thing about this Lions team that I think people really need to understand is that this team is something special. This team is going somewhere this year. And if you don't believe me, let's just give this example right now. Zadarius Smith, a.k.a. Rasheed Wallace, because he looks like Rasheed Wallace. It's crazy how similar in the face they look.
Oh, Rasheed Wallace.
He came in with a Rasheed Wallace jersey. And if people don't know who Rasheed Wallace is one of the reasons why the Pistons won the championship that year. They made an acquisition in the middle of the season and brought in toughness and brought in somebody who could be that final piece along with the team they already had. And I feel like I don't think that he's the final piece for this team, but he's a big piece that we needed really bad after losing Aiden. And it just feels crazy, guys, that everything is coming together, you know, and it's a ride and we just have to enjoy it, you know, like we can't get down on these teams because yes, statistics, you're right, Jay. Statistics do show that they had no chance in hell of winning this game, but this is a different Lions team. The defense is top 5. The offense is good. The coaching is stellar. You know, the special teams is on point. Like this team really has no certain weaknesses that are being exposed. You know, they have great coaching. They're prepared for this. You know, Dan even said in his presser that they even played out this scenario in practice, literally to the T. And Jake Bates kicked that thing in the wind and nailed it. So the belief was there that he would get it done again. That's why they didn't try to get extra yards. They knew that, let's get into the field goal range and he'll get it done.
Hell yeah. I want to
talk
Bates really quick. Was there ever
any,
I hear people talking about we finally got our kicker. Was there like any question about Jake Bates? Because Nate, I know you and I
I did because I didn't know how far he could. I know he could kick far in UFL because I watched him in UFL, but UFL is not the NFL, you know. So I need to see that leg in a long time situation. The only thing that worries me is that dude's got to get it more in the middle. that was way too way too close to comfort right there. But yeah, I believe in him. I told you, Jay, when the season started, if he could just make kicks inside the 40, because I felt like the Lions were either going to go for it or score touchdowns, that's all I wanted from him. But if you can boot a couple of 50-yarders, you get Dan's confidence up, and now he believes in you, and so now he might take more chances.
Hell yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that, B?
Yeah. I mean, I think I actually, to tell you the truth, Dan has lessened his fourth down attempts this year.
Yeah.
And I think it's based on the fact that Bates is his kicker. And I think he has more faith in Bates than – and this is what I thought – this is what I said last year about the Lions. This is the only reason why he goes for it so many times. He didn't trust the kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Foxy too. You got to give Foxy credit. Like, he believes in his punter that he can flip the field literally anywhere.
Well, Fox has been doing that the last three years, so I don't think that's a problem.
Flies under the radar, man. He's absolutely the best punter in the league, man. And
Yeah.
I think they do that purposely. Like, they will specifically not go for it on certain fourth downs because they want to wear your offense down. They want to make your offense work for it. And Aaron Glenn has done a great job with scheming up drawing up different schemes, the blitz, to for coverage, everything for these other.
And that's why I'm saying that this team, there's no weaknesses. There's really no weaknesses. They're complete all around.
Yeah.
You know, their offensive coordinator's great, their defensive coordinator's great, their special teams coordinator's great.
Yeah. And to give a little bit more context to anybody out there that sees this, we were talking about how the Lions went down, 16 points in the first half?
23-7, I think, at halftime, yes.
And they at that time they had 3 turnovers. It was like that was the first
2 technically.
There was 2 at that time. That was the first time in 50 years that any team in the NFL has ever came back and won a game being down, 2.5, 3 scores with 5 turnovers to win the game. That was the first time in 50 years. I don't know. Unheard of.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I say I put this into the universe for us to win, but I told B in our text chat, we were chatting back, and I said, "How have you ever seen a game where a quarterback wins throwing 5 picks?"
Never.
And and what did you say, B? You said, "We're gonna
find out now."
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, just by me saying that, like, I felt like I put it into the universe, so y'all are welcome. You know, because I felt that. I felt that, like, no joke, Jay. I really felt like this was, you know where I thought I knew the Lions were going to win this game is because when they got to the fourth quarter, Goff had thrown 5 picks and they were only down 10 points.
Yeah.
That's recipe for disaster with the Texans. And the thing is that we're battle tested. We've been in these games. We've been in these tough situations. The Texans haven't. And you could see as we got the game closer, our confidence went up and the Texans went down. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple. And that's what great teams do. They find ways to win. Even when you're off, they find ways to win. Look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs played like bad all game against Denver, but they blocked that field goal at the end to win the game. They just find ways because you think about it, your coordinators are smarter than their coordinators. These coordinators are very smart and very calculated in how they do things. I don't know if you listen to Dan's presser or Phip, what he talked about, but they go through situations literally every week with Ben Johnson and AG in rooms with Dan, and they just talk about scenarios and stuff like that. And they ask Dan why he does that. He's like, well, because these guys are going to be head coaches at some point. Mm-hmm. And I want them to get the feel of what it's like to go through situational football. So these guys talk situational football and they breathe situational football. Yeah. And that's exactly what the Lions did.
Yeah, and it's something that I've noticed about this Lions team because, there are different tiers of like being good. You got like good to great to really great. The Lions have kicked it in a different gear that nobody has been able to tap into yet because the odds in every game they were supposed to lose against Green Bay, a lot of people say they were going to lose. Houston, a lot of people say they were going to lose. Minnesota, they have overcome all odds to come and beat whatever team that has stepped up to the plate. If you think about it, first game without Aiden Hutchinson, they went on the road to the Vikings and they went and beat them. Everybody was like, oh, well, no Hutchinson, you might lose that game because it's on the road in a hostile environment. They won that game. Houston Texans, they won that They won that game coming off of a game against Green Bay in the element.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of teams who may have been good, great, they know they had a playoff spot almost locked for sure. They would have been like, you know what? Let's get out of here. Let's just try to
Well,
rebound.
that just shows you that people
Right?
that they don't listen to the naysayers.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I tune out the naysayers because this team is built different. It's just even Goff said it after the game was over. This team is freaking built different. It's not like anybody else that you see in the NFL. It's just built different and it starts with Dan Campbell.
It's scary. Did anybody hear Ben Johnson really quick? Did anybody hear Ben Johnson say that he wanted to see a full 4 quarters of offensive play? It's like, what else could this team do? You put up 50-something points against a team. You put up 40 against a team. It's like, what else do you want?
Well, the team's they're not satisfied. That's the thing, is that every coordinator, I mean, Fipp could run around circles about how well his special teams has been playing. We still got improvement. AG says, hey, we played lights out. We could still be better. Offensively, Ben, we got the points we needed. We need to be a lot better. Everybody, like, this is what great teams do. They always look to get better. They never stay complacent. And that's what the Lions culture is all about. Like, if you listen to all the players, all the coaches, everybody says, we can play better. We can play better. We're going to play better. We're going to play better. They don't act like they are a complete product. Go ahead, B. Get in there.
So, look, my question is, speaking of the Chiefs, who do you think would win between the Chiefs and the Lions at this point in the season? And don't be a homer, because I know we're all Lions fans, but break it down technically how you think the Lions would do against the Kansas City Chiefs at this point.
Right? Where are we playing? Are we playing in Kansas City, Detroit, or on a neutral field?
Let's say we're playing a neutral field.
Neutral field, I got the Lions dumb trucking the Chiefs.
Weather conditions. Fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair weather. I'm still giving the Lions the dumb truck the Chiefs. You want to know why? Because I feel like as soon as Kansas City just gets hit in the mouth, I don't know how they will respond. Right? Like Kansas City, I mean, they're undefeated. They don't know what it's like to be an underdog right now. And I mean, really, the Lions' offense is just much better than the Chiefs. I think that their offense is going to be a little bit faster than the Chiefs' defense. Now, you do have to worry about Karlaftis and you got to worry about Chris Jones, obviously. But, I mean, their pass defense isn't great. Their run defense isn't great. It's good, but it isn't great, right? So, if you can put together a full 4 quarters of game, man, I think the Lions would kill the Chiefs.
I wouldn't say kill them. I'd say
kill the Chiefs.
Okay, all right. I would say it'd be close. I mean, the Chiefs are a good team. Patrick Mahomes is a 2-time MVP. You know, for me, it'd be a defensive battle. Both defenses are playing really well. Spagnuolo's got his defense playing really well. AG's got his defense playing really well. To me, it would just come down to who makes the mistakes. Like whoever makes the mistakes, like, you know, we talked about the Viking game. Both offenses were coming in very hot, good defenses. Whoever made the mistakes was going to lose the game or win the turnover battle. And for me, when you're going against the Chiefs, you can't give them possessions because Mahomes will make you pay. So for me, it would be a defensive game. I think it would be just come down to who made the mistakes on the offense side. But I would have the Lions winning.
I would also have the Lions winning because of these two factors. A, offensive line is the best in the league. I don't give a fuck what defense you got.
That's very true.
They're the Lions are the best offensive line in the league. They might start off a little funky sometimes, but you usually end up killing people at the end. And that's really where the games are won with the Lions in the end of the game, in the second half, because that offensive line wears a defensive line out. Also, our defense would be great against Kansas City right now. Kansas City's offense is ass. They're ass.
And their line is struggling too, like I told you.
You can say whatever you want about Patrick Mahomes. He's not being Patrick Mahomes this year. He's just being a normal quarterback, and the only thing that's saving him is that defense. That's it. Yeah, and the special teams, really.
Right.
And now their special teams is without Buckner. So we don't know how their kicking game is going to be. So, I mean, I think the Lions would beat them. I don't think they're going to smash them. I don't even think it'd probably be maybe a 10-point game, 7 to 10-point game.
Let's put it.
Yeah.
Let me put this in perspective. The Lions are the better team, complete team, than the Chiefs. The Chiefs have the best player on the field for both sides. Can we agree about that?
Yeah, and records aside doesn't make a difference to me. You can be 9-0 and be lucky every 2 or 3 games. And luck is part of any sport. So, I mean, and they're finding ways to win. I give them that. But I don't call them a complete team. That offense is ass.
They're not.
It is. They just haven't been.
They've struggled.
They haven't played somebody besides maybe Denver with a really good defense right now.
My bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead, B.
No, you're good. You're good.
So I think the only advantage the Chiefs would have over the Lions is the coach. Because we know Andy Reid is a great coach. Andy Reid is like a wizard.
I would take Patrick Mahomes over Goff. No disrespect.
No, I said coach.
I know, but you said only advantage. I said I would take coach. I would take quarterback over.
I
Goff.
mean, while I think that Patrick Mahomes is the better quarterback, think about this. If Jared Goff has to sit or something, God forbid something happened to Jared Goff, this team would still be good, right? Because you still got a nice offense, right? I think that like you said, their offensive line is the best in the league. And you've seen that. I'm gonna eliminate everything that happened.
That's a big ask, man, because Jared Goff is a big part of what we do. You can't discredit that.
I totally understand. But anytime Jared Goff gets hit the way he does through 5 interceptions and your team can still come back and win, that says a lot. That's not discrediting anything.
Well, no, that's the defense. That's like B was saying about the Chiefs. The Chiefs defense has wiped the diaper of the Chiefs all season.
Oh, 100%.
The Lions, you could argue the Lions defense has kind of been the same way, man. I mean, the offense has really yet to put a good game together, complete all the way through.
Hell yeah. But if Mahomes went down, let's say Mahomes and Jared Goff went down, right? Who do you think that would have the bigger impact on? It'd obviously be the Chiefs because everything is centered around Patrick Mahomes. So, with Jared Goff,
I'll agree with you on that, yeah, because they don't really have a running game either.
Let's say Jared Goff averages about 25 to 28 throws a game. Even if you put Hendon Hooker back there, you can still hand the ball off out of the backfield.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and I would say that would be the biggest advantage the Lions have probably over the Chiefs. Outside the O-line, I agree with you, be on the O-line for sure, 100%. But the running games, to be able to have a guy like Sonic and Knuckles who could just run down your throat over and over. And they don't have to get 100 yards. Like, look at the Texan game. They did a really good job on the run defense, on their run defense. That probably was the best run defense I've seen all year so far.
I keep trying to tell you, I told you. They're going to stop mixing. That's the reason why they won that game.
Well, actually, I was talking about the Texans defense against us. But yes.
They didn't do too good of a job at the end there, though.
No. They did it, but they shut down
the offensive line took over in that game in the second half.
They did.
Right.
The things about the Lions that are simple for football in general. You stop the run and you run the ball effectively. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was a struggle in the first quarter. Obviously, the offensive line didn't wake up. They didn't come at the same time everybody else did. But in the second half, the offensive line the running back started picking up a lot of yards. Mm-hmm. At the same time, that defense was shutting down Mixon. Mixon only had like 46 yards. And that
was fantastic, man. He had a couple
beyond what everybody else might think about that. That was the key in that game. That's the reason why Lions won that game. Had they been effectively able to run the ball, we would have lost.
Yeah,
because they would have just took time off the clock.
Yeah, exactly. Because they were up by big margins. I agree.
100%. I agree because you look at Nico Collins, with him being out, their offense was still pretty stable. You still had Tank Dell. You still had Cade Stover getting some good passes. They just couldn't get their running game going.
Also, the defense got pressure. They got pressure on Stroud. In the second half, they AG got creative and brought some pressure from inside, or finally saw Houston pop and make some plays. Even popped his pants.
And a reason why that was as well is because they stopped the run. They were forcing them to pass. And when you get a team to be forcing them to pass, then you basically won that part of the game.
Let's just say this: is this the best defense we've seen in? I would argue this defense is better than the 1 year we went to the playoffs and played the Saints. We had a top defense then, right?
Oh, 100% better than that defense.
Yeah.
I don't think it's better than the defense than that we played that we had when we got that bad call against Dallas. That was a good defense.
Okay, so it's up there. It's up there, but like it's been a long time since we've seen
again. The thing about this defense isn't that good. They're not a very good. They give up a lot of yards. They're like last in the league in passing yards. They do have a good rush defense, but you got to look at the things that are good about this defense is they're good in the red zone. One of the top 2 in red zone.
That's key.
They're number 1 in third downs. Offensively and defensively. Mm-hmm. Those are key things in a game that you want to stop. You want to stop the other team from scoring in the red zone, and you want to stop their third downs. If you stop that, you're getting them off the field, and that gives your offense more time to be productive. So they're at the top of the league at both things that you need to do to stop teams.
I'll give you another one. I'll add something else onto that. The Lions have not allowed a single quarterback this season to pass for multiple touchdowns in a game.
Yep. Exactly.
That is big time right there, considering they face a high-powered team.
It's all about how AG dials up the pressure and how he plays his coverage. Like you watch these games, and AG has been the most consistent out of Ben and him and the coordinator.
For sure.
Like,
for sure.
No. You're gonna give up yards. That's just football. Other people are getting paid too. This is not a shutdown defense.
But you want to know something though?
Mm-hmm.
This safety, this secondary has put the league on notice because last year a lot of teams thought that you could just pass on us, and they did. But with Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph both healthy and more experienced now, you can't get past those two. Ryan Branch through the first 8-9 games is already playing like a all-pro, not just pro.
He is an all-pro. Let's just get that out there. He is an all-pro.
He has to be.
If he's not an all-pro, it's a joke.
Yeah,
he's an all-pro.
He
he could very well be defensive player of the year if he has more picks.
Safety is playing better than he is right now. No other safety is playing better than he is right now. Yeah. I don't even think Kirby Joseph is. But beside the point, I think that's one thing that a lot of people kind of get misconstrued when it comes to stats. Yeah, you can give up some yards, but if you don't allow the quarterback to actually get the ball to his receiver in the end zone, that is big time right there because you're limiting it. You just took all the air out of the football. You deflated that offense. They didn't get the score. Now they have to settle for a field goal.
You don't win games with field goals.
That is demoralizing. You don't win a game with field goals. Exactly.
Because if you look at the Texan game, let's go back to the Texan game before we get to the injury report.
Yeah.
In the Texan game, if Carlton Davis doesn't make that pick in the red zone, that's another 3 points, possibly, or 7 points added on. Mm-hmm. And more likely, the Lions aren't coming back from that deficit. So when you can take away the ball and not get any points, that gives your offense hope to get their stuff together. And that's what they did. They woke up, said, okay, the defense is playing lights out right now. We got to get our shit together. Like, enough's enough. I don't know if y'all watch the Sights and Sounds. I always watch that every Thursday when they come and bring it out. Anzalone was mic'd up, and he kept saying, hey, let's keep going. We got to get out there. Every time a pick happened, hey, let's get back out there. Let's get the stop. Let's do what we got to do. Like, the mentality's already there that we got to clean up whatever the offense did and set up the offense for the most success. And that's exactly what this team has done every game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, basically on that play that you talked about where Stroud threw that interception in the end zone for CD, this is what I'm talking about. Now, on TV, the analysts kind of screwed it up because they said, Stroud took too long throwing that ball. No, Stroud didn't take long. He just threw the ball because he knew his receiver was open at one point. But the defense made him hesitate. If you look at that play and he rolls out, he hesitates for just a second.
Sure.
That's because they are on his ass. That's why. And that's why he had to throw at the last minute. And
they threw him off platform.
They threw him off the platform. Right. It wasn't him making a bad decision. It was us making him wait a second longer to throw.
I
which
think that
got
might have been
CD
Houston
over
too
there.
that put that pressure on him
Dude,
too.
you want to know something? The distance that Carlton Davis covered was unreal because I watched this video where this guy broke that play down. In fact, Terry and Arnold was supposed to be that guy. I think he missed the assignment, and Carlton Davis just came right over and just caught the ball. That's just unheard of. It's really just unheard of.
One thing I can't.
He had it. Carlton Davis just took it out of it.
One thing I will say about this secondary is that Carlton Davis, Brian Branch, and Kirby are probably some of the most aware defensive backs on this team. TA is going to come along. It's going to take some time. Hopefully, this might be his coming out game. Hint, hint. But I definitely think those three guys, they are just ball hawking dudes. Like they are wanting you to jump those routes. Like I have been telling you when we had our last pregame, I said Carlton Davis has been close a couple of times. He's been jumping those routes. Well, he finally did both of those and got well rewarded for it. So let's wrap this up really quick and we'll go into the injury report. Who was your MVP for the game?
Shit, man.
I don't know who that is.
Give me Carlton Davis, man. It was like
Carlton Davis.
Did y'all see when they first came out of the half and Dan Campbell was talking and he just really spoke life into that defense? You don't
think that the games are rigged? I don't know what after that. I don't know what it is.
He just gets the pick. And Nate, you said something as well. You said that, man, if Houston caught that ball and got that touchdown, the Lions may not have been able to come back from that deficit. Man, he saved the game on that play right there.
Huge,
man. Carlton Davis, and that's no disrespect to anybody out there.
No, he deserved it. Two takeaways were huge.
Yeah.
One set the tone, the other one took away points.
But Carlton
Who's your MVP?
But Carlton Davis.
You go ahead because you always, I always take yours or Jay takes yours. Go ahead.
All right, y'all gonna laugh at me. I'm gonna say Jared Goff, and I'm gonna tell you why. Jared Goff threw 5 picks, technically 4, because that last one in the Hail Marys, I don't count those. He threw 4 picks or 5 picks. He easily could have shut it down and been rattled and just took an L. We could have gone back home. One thing I like about Jared Goff is he is Mr. Steady Eddie. Win, lose, he's still the same Jared Goff. I think they showed a picture of him when he was a kid, and he looked like the same Jared Goff now that he looks like today. The guy just doesn't get flustered. And the thing is that we needed that leader to step up and get the job done. The defense has set him up in the positions to keep this game close. It was him to finish it, and he did. And so I give him kudos for that because if Jared Goff, his head's not right, we're not winning that game because we needed points. So that's mine.
Love it.
Well, I'm gonna go with I'm surprised nobody said Jake Bates, but anyway, I'm gonna go with the unsung.
I thought you were gonna say Jake Bates, so I said Jared Goff, but that's all right.
I'm gonna go with Aleem McNeil.
Yeah.
He had a lot of pressures on that, and he was a big part of stopping that run. Big part of stopping that run game. He was in the backfield more times than the damn running back was half the time. I mean, he was having an excellent game. I'd probably give my 1A to Houston. He showed his ass in that game too.
Mm-hmm. He did.
See, now I feel bad. Now I feel bad for my MVP because they all played huge roles, man. Like you can always pinpoint something they did that was just monumental.
Sure. But without Carlton Davis's plays and without Jared Goff's plays, they don't win this game.
I get it.
Because they're very pivotal in both sides of what was needed. The defense needed to get turnovers and the offense needed to capitalize, and that's what they did.
While still shutting down the run, which was the most. That was the most right there.
That's our bread and butter, man. That's our bread and butter.
Complete our comeback. You got to shut down the run. If you don't shut down the run, they can run the time off the clock, and there's no chance for the offense to get out there and even get into position to win the game. So the run stopping was key.
It is. I have to apologize to everybody out there because I have to bring this up. I remember years ago when the Lions had Matt Patricia as the coach. I remember teams used to just run up all and down the field on this team. And that was with Snacks Harrison right there in the middle. That was with them big guys right there. And they were still killing us on the ground. It is so refreshing and so just beautiful to see that nobody can crack 100 yards against us. Nobody can just break off for big.
It's just a matter. It's a matter of will and want. And this defense has said over and over again, our main focus is stop the run. Every play, every game, stop the run. You want to know why we don't get those high premier pass rushers? Is because not all of them are good at stopping the run.
Right.
True. That's like you get into a fight and you can't get your jab off. You can't get your jab off. They just throwing you off your jab. That is a huge takeaway from every single defense. If you can stop that run, make them one-dimensional.
The funny thing is that they take themselves out. Mm-hmm. They could easily keep running the ball on us. Maybe they might have some success. Maybe they won't. But they take themselves out of the game. Like it behooves me how these teams just give up. Like we're not going to run the ball anymore. We're done. We're just going to we're going to have to throw it, and they're up. That's the hilarious part, like look at the Lions. Like the Lions run game was horrible through 3 quarters. And then the 4th quarter, Gibby got some runs and Monty got some runs. They don't give up on the run. They keep beating it down until there's no more time on the clock. And that's what I love about this team. They stick to their goals and they stick to their they don't panic. That's the best part about this team.
Yeah,
of course they don't.
Everything else, they just don't panic. That's how you know that they're ready to compete for a championship. Because anytime you panic, like you said, Jared Goff could have easily panicked and folded.
They're built for it, man.
That's really underrated right there. That's an underrated skill to have, and just being level-headed and being able to just, if you mess up on this play, okay, go out there and make a play.
That's been their mantra. That's been their mantra all year. They're built for it.
Yeah, they're built for it. They're built.
Okay.
True meaning of great.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and turn the page to today. We play the Jags, and looks like the inactives came out today. So I'm trying to see where I have my list here.
Yeah, the two Jaguars that are the ones that aren't going to play, that are most detrimental to the team, really, as Tank Bigsby, he's out, and Trevor Lawrence is out.
So starting quarterback and starting running back are out of the game.
Yeah, and for the Lions, really, it's just Sam Laporta. The rest of the guys that are on the inactive report are basically backups anyway. But
Mohammed's
it's a good thing to say.
Inactive.
Yeah, Christian Mahogany and Simo's getting ready to come back, and also the corner Emmanuel, he's going to be coming back soon, so that's going to be up. And if he's coming back, so we're going to get stronger as the days go by, and that makes this team all the more dangerous.
Crazy.
And if Zadarius works out for us, I mean, we might start killing teams, just for the hell of killing teams now, because the defenses are just coming out. The defense will be a lot better. Yeah. I mean, I really think that Mosley is going to make. I thought he was going to be a difference before he got hurt. That's the only thing that I don't like about him. He just gets hurt too easily.
Yeah, he's a playmaker. If he can
come in here, if he comes in here and he does what he did in San Francisco, there's nobody going to be able to stop that. Nobody's going to be able to play against that defense.
Here's a question. I don't want to bring it up, but it's something that we should talk about. When Mosley does come back, let's say he plays and plays well, because I would expect him to get playing time. Do you think he outseats TA?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do you think
there's a formulated plan for everything the Lions do. TA is not, unless TA falls flat in his face. First of all, he wouldn't get replaced by Mosley anyway. He would probably get replaced by Enos, and only because they want to make because Rakestraw needs to be out there playing. He needs to be. They picked him 1-2 in the draft.
But you said about Mosley, outside of his injuries, he's a playmaker. He's a guy who can cover corner. He's a guy who can take the ball away. You don't think that if he shows that ability You don't think that maybe?
I don't really no, because
Okay.
he's only played one half game with us, a
That's fair.
half game,
I'm just
and
I'm
on
just
top of
asking.
it,
I'm just
even if
asking.
he
You know.
and he would be coming in to just be relief pitcher basically. He'd come in there and spell TA. He'd come in there and spell
Okay.
Carlos or Amik, any of those.
I would think he would jump Enos. I think if he's healthy and he's playing well,
Well,
I
that's
think
what
he could
Enos
jump
does.
Enos.
Enos just comes in there to spell people
Right.
too. That's
Right.
his job, when he's on
Gotcha.
the active roster. So it's just that he's just going to probably take that spot, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, they might have one time when both Emmanuel and Enos are out there playing different roles. So you remember this defense works on the premise of having 5 defensive backs out there at
Sure.
all
Yeah.
times.
No, you're right. You're right.
So
You're right. Especially the way the offenses go now. They
yeah,
run 4 wide sets at times. So yeah, you
yeah.
definitely need to have able cornerbacks. Yeah, getting Mosley back would be huge. I mean, that's just another weapon that you add. Heaven forbid if one of our dudes go down. So
Yeah.
all right. One move I do want to bring up is before we get into the keys is Mitchell was brought up from the practice squad. Do you expect anything from Mitchell today, or do you think it's going to be mostly Brock and Zylstra?
Brock and Silstra.
Okay.
The only way Mitchell gets to play is if he if one of those two go down. Once Porter comes out, they have so many weapons they can just eliminate a position basically. And I'm sure that they're going to get the ball to either one of the 2 tight ends, but it's not going to be like they're trying to do it with Laporta. And if you notice, Laporta hasn't been getting when he's playing. He's not been getting the ball as much. The offense is not revolved around Laporta like it was last year. This year, it's revolved around everybody. So you don't have one certain player you're going to or next. That's why everybody's numbers are going to be low, which I predicted was going to happen anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
Anything else? All right. All right, let's talk about the keys to the Jags. So what needs to be done for us to get a victory today? I'll let you go B first.
show up.
Right.
Just be there.
just be present. Just be present.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something. I think this is a game where Ben Johnson's going to get cute, okay? Because he's not Dan. Dan is not the one that's going to say he respects every team they play. Every team's coming in here with their best game. That's what he says every week. They're coming in here with their best game because they're trying to knock the Lions out. And the Jags really need to play well today anyway, because for their organization, it might be a coach changer. There's a whole bunch of things going on in that organization that are all messed up right now. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence is not playing. They got to rely on Mac and Cheese as a quarterback right now, or Macadoodle, however you want to call him. And they only got Etienne as a running back. And you do got to. I mean, with the Jags, you do have to be careful of some of their weapons. They're the guy that comes out to me is their rookie, Thomas. He's been playing pretty good. He's been behind the scenes, being strong. I think he's actually played better than Marvin Harris. To tell you the truth,
And that's a guy the Lions really were looking at in the draft because he was an X receiver, big bodies, fast guy. So yes, I agree. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, that's a dude right there.
So they do got to be conscious of that. I mean, Macadoodle is not the greatest quarterback in the world. Obviously, that's the reason why he's a backup, and he didn't last too long in New England. But you still have Etienne. He's a pretty good runner. I don't see too much of a threat from that even because, like I said, we stopped the run pretty well.
I mean, if we stopped every running back going forward so far, I don't see how ETN goes off against us.
You're right. Yep,
he's a smaller back too. He's not a between the tackles type of guy. He's more of a get outside in space.
I think I think AG is going to have a good day defensively, only because it is the Jacksonville Jaguars and like 32 and they just suck. Period. They suck. That's all you can say. They suck.
It's a business game. It's a business game. That's all it is. You're showing up because it's on the schedule, and
I wouldn't be surprised that by the fourth quarter, Hendon Hooker's in there, and a lot of other backups are in there. You might get Mitchell in there in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter because he might be playing as a backup. So
I hope so.
you
Yeah,
know,
that'd be
there you
great.
go.
What do you think, Jay? Tell
Oh
me.
yeah, man. I think keys to this game, like B said earlier, just show up. No, on some serious stuff though, like this Jaguars team, I mean, I think that they're just defeated right now. I think that the Lions just need to play a steady
Yeah.
game. They don't have to do anything spectacular because I mean, their coach, he's pretty much known he's gone after today anyway, especially if they lose. So I mean, just kind of just play your game, man. You know, just get the ball to your receivers in a hurry. You can run the ball. Just limited big plays and just don't give them that chance to feel like they have a chance because they're going to be a bunch of guys out there that wants to prove that they are worthy of a spot on the team. You don't want to let them know the reason why they are the Jacksonville Jaguars and they're in the position that they're in. They don't belong on the field with you. So
Yeah.
go out there.
No, that's well said. I would say take their soul away early.
Yeah.
Like don't give them hope. You know, put them in the ground and keep them in the ground.
Yeah.
You know, just play Lions football, man. Run the football, keep it clean. I think AG is going to bring heavy blitz on Mac. I think that it's going to be a long day for Mac. And so I don't think they're going to let him sit in the pocket and be comfortable. I think they're going to try to rock his world and try to really put a lot of heat on him. And then offensively, man, I just want to see a really good offensive game. I think Goff is going to bounce back in a big way today. I think that he realized he played like ass and he needs to play better. And I think he's going to come out and play really well. And I think the run game is going to be huge. I think we'll probably run for more than 200 yards today.
Agreed.
We'll go ahead and say that.
Agreed.
I wouldn't say that they just go back to Goff. I don't think he played like ass. I think interceptions are not detrimental to what actually happened in the game too.
Yeah.
You got to look at all the interceptions he threw.
True.
One was a batted pass, which I don't ever count as an interception. Unless it doesn't get picked off directly by a cornerback, I don't call that an interception.
One was hit off somebody's helmet.
And then the other time, he got hit from behind and he fumbled it forward and it went off somebody, and that was considered an interception. Again, I don't count that. The Hail Mary, yes, it goes down as an interception. It was a pretty bad throw, actually. That was pretty a bad throw for a Hail Mary. He didn't even get into the end zone. So I'll give that one to him. The one that he threw,
the Laporta was bad. That was
no, he got hit from behind in that. You didn't see that.
He did?
He got hit from behind just as he was throwing the pass, and it went over his head. Then the one that he threw to Jamo that got picked off is because Jamo ran a wrong route.
Mm-hmm. I heard about that.
That was. I mean, all five interceptions could be explained. It wasn't like he was throwing this to everybody like a bad game. Like we've seen Stafford throw bad games like that. Just fuck it, I'm just throwing it. You know, that kind of stuff. He wasn't doing that. It was just, you know, things were happening. The offensive line didn't give him enough time to do a lot of that in the first half, and that's the reason why he started off bad.
So basically, what you're saying is the pressure really
the pressure was what got him. Yeah. And then in the second half though, he was still throwing that one touchdown on Laporta, the first touchdown that we got. That was a dart.
Nice.
The dude threw that.
It
was a nice touchdown. I mean, he threw good touchdowns. It wasn't like he wasn't playing bad in that category. It was just uncertain things were happening. That's all.
Yeah. The optics people say he played bad. But no, you're right. You're right, B. That was a good breakdown. Yes.
If you go by stats and you didn't see the game, you say, "Oh wow, he threw 5 picks. That sucks." No, you didn't watch the game though. You got to watch stuff.
You threw 5 picks and still won. Who cares?
Right.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
so this game, you know, a lot of people have this game as pretty much a lock that it's going to be not even close. I think the bettors have it at 13 or 14 points. I haven't checked the line
13
yet.
and a half. It's a 13 and a half right now.
At one point it was almost 14 during the week, and that was the highest 14. Spread. Okay, it was 14. The highest spread in the NFL this year. That's crazy. Like how far we've come where the Lions are 2 touchdown favorites. You know, like I remember we were sometimes 2 touchdown dogs.
Yeah.
You know, like it's crazy, you know, like just it's a different time. And I guess
they still have us, as far as scores.com, they still have us as a 14-point favorite. So it's still 14.
All right. Well, there you go. be with your betting guide to the day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think this is going to be that difficult of a game. I think, you know, if the Lions just come out and play 85%, I think they'll be fine. You know, not having Trevor Lawrence is big for the Jags. Bigsby is a good running back. He's more of your hammer to where ETN is more of your speed. They're also out Kirk. Kirk's out for the year. You know, I like Kirk a lot, so he's out. I think they still have Gabe Davis. They have Gabe Davis and Brandon Thomas. So, and they got Ingram. So they got some weapons, you know. But the thing is, just you got to put pressure on Mac. If you put pressure on Mac, man, he falters. So, all right. Well, let's get into predictions. Let's see. Jay, let's go ahead and go first. What is your prediction, and who is your MVP of the game? And give me a bold take.
Okay, I got you. All right, so my prediction is I think the Lions win like a 27-10 type game. I think the Lions is just going to really hold them to a bunch of field goals. They may get a garbage time touchdown, but I think the Lions are also game and be in control of the whole game. MVP of the game, I'm going to tie it into my bold prediction. MVP of the game, I think it's going to be Jameson Williams. I see with him missing a couple of games and not really having the best game against Houston. I think
made big catches, man. Big catches.
I think they want him to get more. So I'm going to say my bold take is I think J-Mo goes out there. He gets at least 6 catches. I think he gets about 80 to about 100 yards, and I'm saying he's going to get 2 touchdowns. I think you're going to see a lot of J-Mo today. That's my bold take.
All right. I like that. B, go ahead.
So I got them winning probably like 47-9.
Whew,
and I got I think, you know, I think the main guys are going to have, you know, everybody's going to have a pretty good game offensively. And I do think Goff is going to throw for at least 3 touchdowns. And I think Monty and Jameer might get a touchdown each as well running. I don't think there's going to be any passes to the tight ends, obviously, because I don't think any tight ends are going to score. I'll put it to you that way. Okay. I think Amon gets 1. I think J-Mo gets 1. And Patrick gets a touchdown.
Oh,
today.
Yeah. We haven't heard from Patrick, man. He's been kind of quiet. Yeah. I like that.
And now, and after you do yours, Nate, I have another question for a prediction.
Sure.
So go ahead.
All right. Oh, man. I'm going to say 34-17. I think that they do score at least 17 points. They'll probably be in garbage time, but they'll score. 34-17. My MVP is going to be Zadarius Wallace, and he's going to have 2 sacks in this game. And Lions fans are going to shit themselves literally and go crazy.
And overreact as usual.
Right, always. And my bold take, man, I want it to happen so bad because I want to see the reaction. One of the linemen's going to catch a touchdown. Oh, I think because of the lack of tight ends, and B, I agree with you. I mean, Zylstra and Brock could catch goal line tight ends, goal line touchdowns. Yeah, especially Zylstra. But I think this is going to be the tight end's touchdown. I think the game's going to get out of hand, and Ben Johnson's going to pull one out of his bag, and it's going to be a touchdown to one of the linemen, whether it's going to be Decker, whether it's going to be Skipper, whether it's going to be Panay. And then Lion fans really will shit themselves and go crazy. So, yeah. What you got, B? What was your question?
So I got 2 because you brought up another good point. All right, so you already answered the question I was going to, but it's on Jay as well. What's the over under for Zadarius Smith in sacks? And you already said 2. What you got, Jay?
Can I go with 2?
Yep. Yeah, you can go with
2. I can see him getting there. I can see him getting like a clean sack, and I can see him maybe getting 2 half sacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to see Aleem McNeil. You're going to see DJ Reader maybe even Onzarike. You know, that's somebody who's been kind of flying under the radar as well. So I think you're going to see a combination of linemen in that backfield today because let's be honest, the Jaguars guards and their tackles, they are not really that good. They can't protect.
Gotta put pressure.
I think that Zadarius going to open up doors for Zadarius Smith to really put some pressure on that quarterback, man. I really do believe that. So I'm gonna go with 2.
Well, I'm gonna give the under at 1 because he's gonna be. This is his first game playing, first of all, so he's gonna have to get familiar with the defense as far as actually playing a game. But he's gonna get pressures, which normally that's what most of the defensive line does anyway.
Oh yeah.
But being that he's Zadarius Smith, he'll get there to the ball, but he'll get a sack. And I think Aleem McNeil will probably take up the other slack of getting the sack, maybe another linebacker or something like that. The other question
Josh Pascal, real quick. Just don't sleep on Josh Pascal, man. Had one of the best games in his career last game.
Somebody else will
don't sleep on him. Go
ahead. So you brought up a good point because I talked about Ben Johnson getting, trying to go get jiggy with it, once he's got to leave, start acting like a fool and stuff. Now, when you say a passing to the offensive lineman, who's going to do it? Will it be Jared Goff or will it be Hendon Hooker?
Oh, I want to say it's going to be Jared Goff because they've been trying to throw the touchdown to the lineman and it just hasn't worked out.
It depends, though. Think about it. What stage are we at in the game? Are they blowing them out? Because obviously, for Hendon Hooker.
I could see them on their last drive before they pull them. Like,
don't make it more difficult than it has to be, Jay. Just it's going to be Hendon Hooker. It's going to be Goff because at one point of the game they're going to be up ahead, and I think they're going to take out Goff in the fourth before the fourth quarter, kind of like what they did against Tennessee, and just let the backups play. So I'm going with Hendon. I think Hendon gets the job done.
Yeah, that would be great. To see Hendon get his first touchdown as a Lion with a lineman. Either way, Lions fans will go crazy, so it doesn't matter.
100%.
All right.
Now with the predictions, I want to add these things. Going outside of the Lions and the Jaguars, I just want to put through a few NFL things in there. We do have 3 big games outside of ours. We do. It's not really a big game, but it's a Lions game, so it's big for us. But the first game that I want to put up there, and I want to get a prediction from you guys, is the Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one. Wow.
That's gonna be a huge game right there because I want to say in the last 6 meetings, Lamar Jackson is 1-6. I'm sorry, 1-5 against the Steelers.
1-3. 1-3 in the last 4.
And he's thrown multiple interceptions against. It seemed like for some odd reason, Tomlin know how to plan against that Baltimore Ravens team.
Where are they playing?
Pittsburgh,
yeah.
Okay.
And I think that when you look at Russell Wilson and how he's playing with his receivers, we know the Baltimore Ravens, they're kind of thin right now in their secondary, and they can't really stop the pass as well. So I think the Steelers get it done. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think they attack the Ravens defense just enough to get the win. Score prediction, I'm going to say 27-20.
I'm not going to give a score prediction, but the Steelers will win, and George Pickens is going to have a huge game because Jamar Chase tore that secondary up. And George Pickens is damn good too. So, yeah, I got the Steelers.
Okay. And the next game would be the other game of the weekend, Kansas City at Buffalo. The 9-0 Kansas City Chiefs versus the 7-2. I'm thinking it's 7-2. 7-2 Buffalo, or is it 8-2? They are 8-2.
That's going to be hard.
Give me Bills Mafia, baby.
Yeah, it's almost like logic. You don't want to just pick against an undefeated team, but a loss has to come in there somewhere, especially with how lucky Kansas City has been recently. They're in Kansas City, you said?
No, they're in
it's in
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
They're in Buffalo. Oh yeah, give me Buffalo. I don't think that Josh Allen is going. If you look at the stats, Josh Allen actually beat Patrick Mahomes multiple times throughout the season. It's the postseason that trips up the Bills.
Mhm.
So I think that's going to continue. I think the Bills are going to get it done. It'll be a tight game, but I think that
Another reason why I think they're going to win because they have that bad taste in their mouth from the playoffs.
yeah,
And they want to erase that, and they're playing at home, and
yeah.
Buffalo at home, and the cold is pretty.
And what were we just talking about? The run game. The Chiefs, they can tighten up on the run game, and when you got James Cook out there, be a big part of that plan as well to throw the Chiefs off balance. I think Sean McDermott gets his first win in a very long time against the Chiefs. Give me the Bills, man.
Yeah.
Okay, now the Bills are probably the best team that Kansas City has faced so far. Completed as a completed team.
Yeah, okay.
Now let me ask you something. And this is just going off this game. If the Chiefs beat Buffalo, are they going to lose another game?
Let me look at their schedule. Or do you have their schedule?
Let's see.
I'm going to say they may lose a game or so because Chargers are playing good in the AFC West. I hate the Chargers, but I still think that these individual games,
Chargers are playing good. That's a good point.
They
are playing well. Yeah.
Very
but
hard.
they already beat the Chargers.
Yeah. That was in Kansas City, right? Or was it in LA?
Yep, that was in Kansas City.
Okay.
No, that was LA. But Panthers, they played the Panthers after Buffalo. They played the Raiders. Both them franchises suck. Then they played the Chargers at Kansas City.
Okay.
They played the Browns, another franchise that sucks. Texans and the Steelers probably will be more of the two teams that they're going to have to worry about. Then they got to play the Broncos.
I would say Steelers. That's going to be a tough environment for Mahomes to go in there.
Their last three games are going to be pretty. Their last 3 games are going to be pretty dicey. They got the Texans, even though that's at Kansas City, but they're at Steelers and they're at the Broncos for the last 2 games. And Broncos did play them really good in Kansas City, and they had a block a kick to win that game because
that could be a trap game right there. That could be a trap game.
And it's the last game of the season, so I don't know about being a trap game. They might have to win it at that point. I don't know. Depends on what the record is at that point. But I think that right now, currently, probably Buffalo is the best team that they're playing. And if Buffalo beats them, then I think they might lose another couple, maybe 3. If they win this game, they may lose 1.
It's really hard to win out. I mean, we joke around about it all the time with the Lions. I mean, they have a very favorable schedule and probably be favored in almost every game going forward. But it's still hard. These teams do get paid too, and they still got to go on the road and win some tough games. So, yeah, I mean, I could see them losing a couple more.
Yeah.
And injuries always happen too. You just never know. That's the equalizer with these games is injuries.
Yeah.
And also, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the LA Chargers. Now, this is a Sunday night game. The Cincinnati, it's like they have all this offense, but they can't seem to win a game. Well, in this particular game, San Diego has got one of the best the best red zone defensive team in the NFL. And they're also like 1 to 3 ranking as far as stopping third downs and stuff like that. So they're about where the Lions are. They have the capability of not letting games getting out of hand. And Cincinnati's defense, they suck.
Well, Hendricks is good, but yeah, that's about it. Let's talk about this Chargers real quick. Are you all surprised that Jim Harbaugh has turned this team around so quickly? Like
I am.
I'm not. He's done it to every team he's coached.
It's very true.
Big.
I mean, Michigan because it's a college team and their victory is winning and beating Ohio State and getting to a national championship. That's a different thing. But he had turned that progressively around over the time that he was there. But when he came to San Francisco, people remember he went to the Super Bowl with San Francisco and played his brother.
It's very true.
So I'm not surprised.
What do you think is the biggest factor of why he turned his team around?
because he concentrates just like he did with Michigan on defense and running the ball. He keeps that ball out of Hebert's hand unless he necessarily has to pass the game. Hebert has been playing excellent.
Which is funny you say that, because like with a guy like Harbaugh, I agree with you. He's all about defense. He's all about the run game. But he's got a damn good quarterback too back there. You know, like a guy who could win you games by himself. Like, he's very talented. Probably doesn't get a lot of respect because of just the lack of coaching he's had in the past. But yeah, I mean, Jim Harbaugh is really, you can see why he took the job, because
I'm going to say it's the defense really more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you remember, he took Jesse Minter from Michigan, and he took him and was like, hey, I need you to be my DC. Jesse Minter is a future head coach as well. Don't get him misunderstood. Give him another year or two. Let him build up his name some more. He's going to be a head coach.
I didn't know he took the defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, he took everybody from Michigan.
That's why they got Wink in Michigan. I got you.
Some of the players.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it. But when you look at it, he also added J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins kind of didn't find his footing there in Baltimore due to injuries and everything else. But if you put him on a team that loves to run the ball like Jim Harbaugh does, he can always be great.
He also has the Gus bust too, right? Gus Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Gus bust. Yep.
Gus Edwards is over there.
He basically has the Ravens. He has the Ravens backfield from last year. That's what he did. He got.
And I look at that and say, when you have that combination, that's a recipe for success, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, I am going to say I'm a little bit surprised, because usually when you have a team like the Chargers who had to retool things, you kind of expected a mediocre season. But I mean, he came in to make them like a playoff team.
I personally think it was the coaching. I think that they were not executing with Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
I think Brandon Staley was the wrong hire for that team, because you had Herbert. You should have got an offensive-minded guy, and you had a pretty good defense. And he kind of hindered Herbert in some aspects. And so, and his decision-making was pretty bad at times. Like, he was Dan Campbell, but making horrible decisions. At least Dan at least Dan gets his stuff done.
He made a few questionable things, like, because a couple of years ago, they really were a playoff team. Remember, they left their starters out there and got a couple of people hurt before the playoffs.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing? That was almost like a slap in the face to the,
So,
the thing about fourth downs too, you got to remember something. The players believe in Dan Campbell here.
They do.
And that's why we do a lot. We got a lot of successful fourth downs.
100%.
Most successful fourth down team in the NFL.
Yeah.
However, with Brandon Staley, the team didn't believe in him. And when you don't believe in him, your fourth downs are going to be meh anyway. So
kind of reminds me of the Jaguars now, because if you remember when Doug Peterson first got there, they were like, this is exactly what Trevor Lawrence needs. You got the coach coming off of a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles and took some time off. Now he's back. I kind of seen it in that way. But
yeah, the Jags, in my opinion, just regressed. I mean, they have the talent. They have good players. They've regressed. I think Trevor Lawrence has regressed. Outside of that playoff win where he brought his team back, he really hasn't. Everybody's waiting for Trevor Lawrence to take that next step to talk an elite level. And he just really hasn't done that. Same thing with Herbert. Herbert is another one of those quarterbacks that's ready to take that elite level to, be the guy. And he hasn't just had that moment, but with Harbaugh just needs a quarterback. He's never needed a damn good quarterback. He's always needed a good defense and a good run game. And he has that. And I think another reason, like I said,
he's basically turning Herbert into J.J. McCarthy. That's what he's
God.
Efficient. I'm saying, but it's a good.
No,
one.
you're right. You're right.
He's being more efficient.
Yeah.
No, he's not pressuring him to make all these throws and stuff.
And Herbert's a very talented quarterback. Like Herbert was. I remember when the Lions wanted Herbert when he came out in the draft. The thing is that as good as he is, he's even a better game manager, because now he's not asked to sling it or have to bring his team back. He's able to play within the offense, play within Harbaugh's system, and now he's just doing his thing. So, yeah.
And the last two games that I got for you, are, of course, in our own division. We got the Whackers versus Chicago.
Or the dump. I call them the dump.
And so which one you got? Which one you got on that game?
Man, give me the freaking Bears, man. F the Packers. I'm not gonna curse, but give me the freaking Bears, man. It's about time they shut these Packer fans up because something
man.
like they always talk about. We own this team, we own that team. They really do own the Chicago Bears, and they will go back to 2013.
10 games they haven't beat the Bears. I mean the Packers.
Yeah, they will go back to freaking 2000 to prove a point and how much they just been dominant over the Bears.
No.
I think, man, if Eberflus cannot do anything against this Packer team coming off of a flat loss to the Patriots where you only put up 3 points, man, something has to shake. You got to go. This Packer team,
they're not going to get rid of him. They got rid of the OC.
Say that again. What'd you say?
They're not going to get rid of him. They already got rid of the OC.
Do something, man. Just go out there and shut these Packer fans up.
Yeah.
Sick and tired of hearing them talk about. I think that if the Packers win, it gives them that little ego booster where they feel like that they're. Oh, see, we still are this team. We still are the Super Bowl contenders we think we are, man. I want the Bears to go out there and shut them up, man. I think Caleb Williams goes off of maybe like 300 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I think.
Victory.
Yeah, I this is my upset of the week. I definitely think the Bears finally get some justice and beat the Whackers. It's gonna be an ugly game. I'm sure both quarterbacks will probably throw a couple of picks or something like that. But right now, I probably trust the Bears defense over the Packers defense. So yeah, give me the Bears.
Well, sorry, gotta go against both of y'all. Whackers are going to win this game, make it 11.
But you
don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. You just don't understand. Chicago's offense is fucking ridiculous. It's just bad. They
haven't scored a touchdown in what? How many quarters? Like
23, 25. Jeez. Not a touchdown in 25 quarters. They haven't scored in 23 or 23 quarters. So look at it like this though. He gets sacked at least at an average 7 times a game.
Yeah.
Their offensive line is horrendous. There's no offensive coordinator that's going to change that unless they make him start throwing short passes over it, and then I'll get predictable, and then
they really do. One thing about this offense, I don't understand why they don't tailor this offense around Caleb Williams what he does best. Like, why are they asking him to be a drop back quarterback with a shitty line? That's like Derek Carr with the Texans back in the day. He was a good thrower, but you gave him a shitty line. The guy got his ass sacked all the time. Like, why not tailor your offense around your quarterback? Like Ben Johnson does that with Jared Goff. They work together. They put the offense together. Why can't this team put their quarterback and their OC together and say, okay, Caleb, what do you want to run this offense like? What are your strengths? What do you like to do? And let's do it. It's not hard. Like, I don't understand, why they won't do it.
I don't know, man. That's a good question. That's really a question. I can't say for sure that it's just one thing. But, when they first hired Kevin Warren, you thought that they were going to come in, and Kevin Warren was a smart guy that seemed like he knew what he was doing somewhat, right? You thought they were going to put the right pieces in place to where they give their coaching staff full autonomy, everything, because – when you look at their other coaches like Ryan Pace, they were like puppets, right? Mm-hmm. And when they made Eberflus come, you hire Eberflus, you got your quarterback, you got all of these things and tools. It's like, what is missing? Why can't you just go out there and put together a offensively sound game and actually make sure that you're playing into your team's strength? Which is your quarterback. Well, I can't tell you this one thing, but I'll tell you, if Eberflus don't win this game, man, I don't expect them to have a job by Thanksgiving. I'm just going to be honest.
I already told you they're not. They already came out and said that they're not going to fire him.
They say a lot of things.
Yeah, well, they said that last year, and he stayed there too. So
they would be absolutely dumb to do.
You also got to remember too, man.
Have you seen Chicago do anything smart in the last 3 years?
You also got to think too. You also got to think too, man. Like, Eberflus is a defensive guy. Their defense hasn't been bad. Their defense has been the reason why they've been in games or won games. It's the offense that's garbage.
Except for
Arizona. The problem is
let the fucking Patriots score on you, bro.
I get it, but that's the offense. They held the Patriots to what, 20 points or something like that? Most time you hold their opponent to 20 points, you usually win games, but their offense is bad. Like they got to get a better offensive coordinator.
Their offense is horrible.
And Gerard Mayo
and as much as you and see, I'm first of all, my opinion, who I am, I hate Chicago anyway. So good for them. I'm glad he sucked that bad.
Here we are.
Well, I hate Green Bay too.
And I hate Green Bay. Green Bay is probably my second hater, but I really hate Chicago. I have history with Chicago fans and I hate Chicago. I just hate Chicago. I hate the city. I hate all their teams. I hate everybody in Chicago. If you're from Chicago, don't fucking talk to me. That's all I got to say. Anyway, that's how bad I hate Chicago. When I use hate, I mean I hate Chicago. Okay,
that's how I am.
But
Minnesota.
at the same time, I look at football as a general, platform of teams that you got to be realistic with some things. You know what I'm saying? And as much as I don't like Chicago, I just don't think they have a team right now to beat Green Bay. I think Jordan Love had that week off. He's going to be better. He's just going to be better. I don't think they're having, and looks like they don't have any issues with weather. It's just overcast. But other than that, it looks fine as weather out there. So they should be fine. And the other game I got for you guys is the Minnesota Vikings versus the
Go ahead. Jay had a question real quick, and we'll
go ahead, Jay.
10 seconds, really quick, 10 seconds. Do you guys think Jordan Love really is just like overrated, that he will never be MVP level?
He's not. Listen, I've said this about Jordan Love. I'll say it again, over and over again. He's a good quarterback. He's not elite. That's it.
Bingo.
So Titans, I got the minutes. Right? Yeah, they're playing the Titans. You got it.
Yeah, Titans.
Titans, man. Titans, man.
My heart says Titans, but God, man, who the hell made these schedules, man? we get like first place teams, and everybody else gets shit. Like, Levis is playing, right? I think he's starting again.
No. Yeah, Levis is playing. You got it. Yeah.
Levis is playing, yeah. They still got D-Hop. I think Pollard's out.
D-Hop's not on there no more.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He's gone.
But they do have – they got Ridley.
They got Ridley and Pollard, but Pollard's out.
So we know that Tennessee's defense is good, right? We know
Tennessee's defense is good against the pass. Mm-hmm. We show we can run the ball effectively on them.
But the Vikings running backs are banged up too.
Aaron Jones can he'll go. I think Aaron Jones is going to have a big game in this game.
I can dig that.
Because they're not going to let Sam. They're going to have to calm Sam down because he's been playing like shit the last 3 games.
Yeah. Look at his
number. That.
The first 4 to 5 weeks. Look at his number. How they plummeted. This is vintage Sam Darnold right here. He's like.
We exposed them. We exposed them for the fraud he is.
Yes.
Well, actually, I would like to take credit for that. The Lions take credit for that, but it was Green Bay that exposed him because after the second half, they frazzled him so bad in that game. That's why Green Bay came back in that game, and they still won because they built up like a 28-point lead on him. But still. And then he came back, and they almost could have won the game had they made a couple of field goals. But
they realized if you put pressure on Sam Darnold, he flushed.
And the Lions didn't do anything to him that made him any worse because he still was rolling out of the pocket and running on us like he was freaking Patrick Mahomes at some time. We didn't have a good game against Sam Darnold because he still was getting out of pocket and throwing. He was pretty effective in that game. But if you do put pressure on him, though, he's just regressing. He's just regressing, like I knew he was going to do. Mm-hmm. You can't be Sam Darnold, Heisman hopeful coming out of college playing like that, and then for half the season and the other half the season you're going to be sucky Sam Darnold. That's what you're going to be. New York Jets Sam Darnold.
They may slip up on this game, man. You said something earlier. You said that the Tennessee Titans have a really good pass defense. If you can take away Justin Jefferson and kind of limit Justin Jefferson and kind of take away Jordan Addison, I don't think that they really got much on that offense.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not going to be putting the ball too much in Sam Darnold's hands. They're gonna rush Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones is gonna. Yeah, he's going to – that offensive line is going to block.
He's going to eat.
And you talk about offenses struggling. I mean, the Vikings won last week with 4 field goals, which never happens. And
that's because Sam Darnold was throwing through 3
right.
interceptions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And Justin Jefferson didn't play well either. I think he had like 40 yards or something like that the whole game. So yeah, this is definitely a get right game for him. As much as I hate Minnesota and I want them to lose every game, I think that him and Cockinson will probably have a pretty good game. So
I have a question for y'all. How many sacks do you think that this Tennessee Titans teams get? Because Aaron Key, he really made himself known when he came here to Detroit.
4.
You think they get 4 sacks on them?
He got lucky here. The offensive line
that was a whiff. Yeah, he just
one. Yeah, those are whiffs.
Decker just whiffed on that one. Yeah, I was at that game. He just he whipped the shit out of it.
Let me take that back. Arden Key is a good defensive end. He is. He does a lot of success in that passing game, and that's why their passing defense is pretty good.
And I keep telling people about Decker, man. Decker struggles with fast pass rushers, man. That's been his MO ever since he came to Detroit. They always put the fastest pass rusher against Decker, and he gets his lunch handed to him. But then he figures it out, and he's fine. Like, he gives up that 1 sack, and then he's good the rest of the game. So, hey, if you got to get your sack out of the way, get your sack out of the way as long as you protect our franchise.
It's almost like he has to get it out of his system and be like, okay, you know what? I got beat. I'm going to go out there and make a play. I mean, as good as our offensive line is, no shot to him. I still think Taylor Decker is probably the weakest link on that line.
And you got to look at it like this too. Always remember what Dan Campbell says. All these teams are gunning for the Lions because they're that good, and they want to make an impression. Every team's going to give you their best, even if they suck. They're going to give you their best at least in the first and second quarters. So you got to be ready for that. And that was just the game that the Lions were ready for.
And he has them ready. You give him credit. He tells these guys the same thing that you're saying right now. They're going to give you your best shot. They're going to hit you in the mouth. Get up, shake yourself off, and throw some punches. And that's what we did last week.
I mean, that's what they did against Tennessee eventually. And Tennessee kept it a close game for most of the first and second quarters. And then the Lions just came out there and hit them with special teams.
Yeah, they realized they were playing the Titans. They're like, oh, shit, we're playing the Titans, man. Let's wake up.
And then the offense did some things in the second half and it put the game away. So, I mean, that's what you got to do. And like I said, we're going to get the best out of every team. That's what Houston did to us. They punched us in the mouth in the first and the second quarters. But then the Lions said, you know what? Fuck you. I'm beating your ass. And that's what they did. We did Detroit street stuff on them. They don't know nothing about that.
They threw a couple of haymakers and we got up and beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, I agree.
They ain't like us, like Kendrick says. They ain't like us. Ain't no team like us. Ain't no team like us.
They not like us.
They not like us. You got it.
Oh, that song. God, I've heard that song so much in the last week or so.
Listen, I love that.
Yeah, it fits this Lions team right to the T. They ain't like us. They're not. This is what I keep saying every year, every game that we play this year. There's all these teams. They got all these stats. And, to whatever Jay said before about stats, they got these. No, not with the Lions, because nobody's built like us. When you play the Lions, you're playing basically a different NFL
or they haven't played a team like us. Yeah,
they haven't played. Yeah, they don't play teams like us. We're one of those teams that is just different. We're different than every other 31 teams that we have here. So they can't.
We got all the calluses on our hands, man. That's we're not playing with soft hands. We're playing with hard working, calloused hands. But hey, we're still there. We ain't going anywhere.
Right.
Hell, yeah. Let's just get this done. Let's get out healthy. Let's go ahead and just get
real quick before we wrap. Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. Definitely let's just stay healthy, get out of this game. Real quick, before we wrap up, who I know you like fantasy football, so give me your must start and somebody you would need to just sit on the bench today.
Must start. I'd have to go with Pickens because the Ravens' defensive backfield is just horrible.
You
Except for
saw what
Kyle
Jamar Chase
Hamilton.
did. You saw
Kyle
what Jamar
Hamilton's
Chase
the
did.
only thing that they got going back there in that secondary for Ravens right now. Ravens defense is just
What about
sucks,
Creed
period.
Humphrey?
Humphrey takes too many chances. I never liked him as a corner.
He's only
He
one
takes
guy,
way
Jay.
too many chances.
He's only one guy.
Right. First of all, he's not, and he gets beat on a regular basis too. So, that's why they're last, and I think they're almost last in pass defense right now. But yeah, go with Pickens. You gotta also go. Probably that's a certain start. Somebody to sit.
Like somebody you just know is going to have a really bad matchup, and like your ass just needs to sit down today.
Probably would have to go with. I want to say. Anybody on Jacksonville?
Anybody on Jacksonville? I like that.
Actually, I think Swift will have a pretty decent game because Green Bay's not great. Yeah, Green Bay's not good against the run. We found that out the whole time. So, and DeAndre says just as above average, decent running back. So he should get some plays. At least that's one thing that Chicago will do. That when they start blocking for the run, that's when their pass gets better. If they do that, they can beat Green Bay. But I just don't see it happening because I don't think that they said
it used to be like their bread and butter. You talk about a team that evolved from their mantra of the old days where they used to play great defense, which they still do, but run the football. They've gone away from that. They don't run the football anymore. They want to go with this pass-heavy type of offense, this new modern offense. The problem is that you have a rookie quarterback and you have aging receivers that, like, you don't. I don't know. Yeah, screw that team. Whatever.
I think that you also got to be that I wouldn't start any defenses for those primetime games. Maybe I wouldn't even say LA Chargers, but I think none of those defenses are going to hold water in those games. I think Pittsburgh probably has the best chance because they always do they always usually do stop Baltimore. But Baltimore is, man, with Derrick Henry, they're a different looking offensive team. And as much as people want to make out of Lamar and his MVP season, him being an MVP, I think we talked in the chat about that in a text, Nate, about how Kurt Warner on NFL today was talking about how quarterbacks coming into the league now that they're starting them a lot more. And the reason why is because they're more athletic, and that's what kind of quarterbacks that they're looking for. However, they have one simple thing that they don't have is that skill level at that position. Lamar gets away with it because he has extreme athleticism. Right. And he can turn plays, into gold. I mean, I've seen him make defensive backs look silly, linebacker. He's like the Barry Sanders after he gets past the line of a scrimmage. He's fast. And he's elusive, but that covers up the fact that he's not the greatest passer.
Yeah,
he's not great accuracy. He throws. You can throw short passes all day, and that's what usually happens. And that's the reason why his passer efficiency is so high. I think long passes, his accuracy.
I think also too, you brought up a great point too. The athleticism is not just the legs or the arm we're talking about. It's about how they place their feet. It's how they, set their feet. It's how they throw from the pocket. A lot of these athletic quarterbacks, in my opinion, are real jumpy. They like to jump a lot. They like to, go a little off platform. They want to be like the Patrick Mahomes type, makes those crazy ass throws when really he should just settle down and just set his feet and throw from the pocket. And so one thing with Lamar is he does that a lot, especially in big games. He'll overthrow his receivers because he's got happy feet. He's just jumping around the pocket and like, dude, if you set your feet and just throw accurately, you're going to make that throw, So
just real quick with the some of the injuries that we have today and who's in, who's out. Basically, Jaylen Warren is in for Pittsburgh, so that's good for them. Devontae Adams is playing. Tyler Boyd is playing. Jair Alexander overrated corner of all time, is in for Green Bay. Montez Sweat is in for Chicago. Evan Williams is back for Houston, so that's good for them. Out is KJ Osborne, and Kittle is out.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So if anybody has a fantasy starting with Kittle, get him out of there. Put another tight end in there.
And Laporta's out too, so you can't.
Yeah,
play
Laporta's out.
either.
Yeah. Laporta Potty's out, so he can't be shitting on people.
real quick. Did you hear what Xavier McKinney was calling out DJ Moore? That's another reason why I think the Whackers are going to lose, because he called out DJ Moore, and last time he called out somebody, he didn't show up for shit.
He called him out for quitting. Basically, that's what he
prematurely
did.
once again. And that's one thing that you want to know something. I don't care how big the rivalry is. That's just one thing you don't do as a man and as
you don't want to poke the bear. No intended. You don't want to poke the bear. Like, leave it alone.
Someone's integrity and accusing them of quitting and everything. You don't know what's going on with DJ Moore. He hadn't came out and actually voiced what's going on with him and what's going on in the team. So opening your mouth and talking like that, man, you have really crossed the line. I think the Bears are going to take that personally. They really are. I really believe that the Bears are going to go out there and drop a hammer on the Packers, man. Seriously.
Like Chris Berman says, that's why they play the game.
That's why they play the game.
All right, let's wrap this up. Final thoughts?
Yeah, man. Hey, look, let's get this dub. Let's play a healthy, safe, fun game. Let's get the dub, man, and let's have fun, man. Go Lions.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Any final thoughts, B?
Jay pretty much said it.
Dude, can y'all believe this is week 10 already?
Yeah. Week 11, actually.
It's
week 11.
Yeah.
We've only played 10 games, but it's week 11, yeah.
We're a little bit halfway through the season, man. Get ready. It's going to be a fun ride.
Just like that, and it's just like we're not even getting to digest how much of a good team we are. And the Lions is just going boom, 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 boom.
Just enjoy, man. I'm telling you. Enjoy it.
Enjoy the ride.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. As always, fuck the Whackers, fuck the Thump, and fuck the Queens. Go Lions. Enjoy the game. And we will see y'all next Sunday at 10:30 Eastern Central Time, 11:30 Eastern Time for y'all. Please like and subscribe to our show. Yes, go to Facebook, One Ass Cheek and Three Toes. And
please give us some subscriptions on there so we can actually put our videos on there. Thanks to
interact
YouTube
with us. Let us know what your opinion is.
Yes. And if you're a fan of the show and want to come on, let us know. We'll get you on as a guest. I might be having a guest next week, or the Lions fan that I met at the airport when I was going to Tennessee. So I'd love to bring him on. He's a big Lions fan. One of the young guys that only knows winning, doesn't know losing. So this is the best time of their life. So anyways, all right, enjoy the show. Game's about to come on. Y'all take it easy. We're off.
Peace.
We some lions, don't let them boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a victory. Lions, don't let them boys get loose. About to play with our food any day that we choose. We some lions, got them all listening. Time to make history, I want a